talks about what happens with the anointing, and it's always with power. He said preachers know it. And he talked about preaching in a church, and God's Spirit came, and people began to weep, and God's Spirit began to move. And he said, I've got this sermon. Every time I preach it, I'm going to see that happen. So he preached the same sermon a month later in another church, and it didn't go any further than the first row. People were yawning and looking at the ceiling and checking their watches. What's the difference? The difference is God's Spirit. And when God's Spirit moved, things began to happen. I want you to know, I have a daughter. We have a daughter, Jennifer, who was really sick the first day of her life. And some people prayed for her, and the doctor said, this is miraculous. The leg that wasn't growing has started growing. It's getting nourishment. The blood count that was rising rapidly has turned normal, and it happened overnight because some dear friends that I had just met got on their knees and they prayed for her. God is still in that business. He changes lives. Amazing. He turns booze into furniture. But he does more than that. He knows about the cripples and the blind and the hurt and the needy and the addicted. And as revival comes, it's always accompanied, and theologically, signs and wonders are just that, signs about the truth of the wonders of the presence of God in the midst of God's people. And I'm seeing that happen. I get letters from people that say, you won't believe this. And they tell me their story. Pastors, and I tell students, look, God is not going to let you get paid much for what you do, but he's going to give you a ticket in an expensive box by the side of the field so you can watch the game that I'm playing in the world and rejoice in everything that you see. I've seen it. I've seen it over and over again, and I'm seeing the increase even now in our time.